But there are some places in Nepal where there is a big potential of producing wind energy, especially in large area, like in Mustang area, uh, in far western, northern part of far western areas also. Uh, the actually the government, when Baburam Bhattarai was the prime minister, he he also had a plan to build a wind power station around the Kathmandu Valley. Here I think some megawatt, I don't know exactly, maybe 5-10 megawatt, producing 5 or 10 megawatt of wind energy, putting wind turbines around the hills in Kathmandu Valley also. So there are potentials for that.
Okay, thank you. And gentlemen back there, please.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for excellent presentation. I'm Mahabir. So you are talking about 10 megawatt hydro project. Is single hydro project or multiple hydro project? So I thought so small might be the good one megawatt project because of the topography and geographical situation of Nepal. Small hydro project might be the fast track implementation and one. So some projects are already successfully implemented by, rightly said, alternative energy promotion center. There will be some grant already provided by donor agency, multi-donor agency, and Nepal government. So 1 megawatt project, another 1 megawatt project might be the best of. Thank you.
Okay, 10 megawatt project is our just proposal. Depending on money available, we can have a 20 megawatt, or if you don't have much money, we can have 1 megawatt. It's not a it's not a fixed plan. The only reason we are proposing for 10 megawatt is because to run an innovation center like this, so we need at least $1 million a year to make it productive, effective. At least $1 million, and that's what we can get by building 10 megawatt of hydropower station. If we don't get 10 megawatt money to build 10 megawatt, we can build 5 megawatt. So it's okay. At least $500,000 we can get it, approximately. So it's not a like a fixed plan, but when we build something like this, even in a small scale, and do something good, and keep going, to develop the innovation center, 10 megawatt is not enough. We will have to, build maybe 20 or 40, 50 megawatt of hydropower station to produce enough power, in order to make the innovation center, self-supporting. On the long run, the innovation center might be able to produce some income by itself as well. But at least, we need some, money, maybe 5 megawatt or 10 megawatt, whatever will be possible. So that's why, the idea of building a 10 megawatt power, came.
Thank you very much again. I saw the hand over there, please. Yeah.
My name is Billy Nyopani, and I'm wondering people in the room might have been having the same thoughts here. The question is not to Dr. Pun, but to the organizing team today. That for like a community center or whatever concept we have, do we have an action plan that we can maybe share and follow and keep some kind of connection on that? I think we have already collected the email addresses, so do we have an action plan on that?
Right now, I think we just heard the idea from Dr. Pun, and this is, again, among us, I mean, at least from my own personal view, and we can all unite and collaborate and come up with the plan and the proposal and give that proposal to him and get his buy-in at the same time while he's proposing us. So that's a collaborative effort, and that's when we can deliver the results. It's not only his project, it's not only our project. Unless, Medini ji, if you have any thoughts?
I just like to add few lines, whatever you say, that tonight we have another meeting specific for the community project and Nepal Connection Center in Baltimore. As you know that we are so spread out and so many people wanted to meet, and the program is 9 p.m. For that purpose, we have the organizer here, Mr. Mahabir Pun. So, Dai is so busy, everybody is looking after his watch. So he's staying with me, he didn't sleep 2 hours. And after 2 hours, I go, there is a music. I said, what is the music going on? He said, no, I'm chatting to somebody. So I'm very concerned about his health now. So, yes, we have a plan, we have a written plan, like he said, he presented. We're going to work together, our feedback combined, and we're going to distribute, and it's always there, will be in the Himachal.
So for the innovation center idea, I have a concept paper, 3-page concept paper. If you are interested, please just send me email, and I will provide you and the concept paper. We are working on developing a business proposal for the innovation center. For the Nepal Connection, this restaurant cum information center idea, I don't want to take lead on it. I want you to take lead on it and make a plan by yourself and implement by yourself.
Thank you again. Again, can we go? I mean, it's a 10 minutes.
Let's extend 5 10
Yes, okay. Yes, please, sir.
My name is Santosh Kakal, and I work as a civil engineer. Also, I am connected with our society, American Society of Nepal Engineers, and faculty is a president of our organization. Actually, my question was already answered in between this conversation. Just to clarify a little bit on what was said regarding 2 and 1 or 10 megawatt. I think what was the intention is, if you go for small ones like 2 megawatts, it might be considered like a small micro hydro, and you might give some subsidy. That might be a background of what friends were trying to say. And the community center is really a good idea. We have a great network in this area of engineers and professionals in our organization, and I'm sure faculty will be more than happy to provide you, with the database if you want to communicate with the emails, and if you need our advice or suggestions, well, you go ahead. And just wanted to thank you really for coming here and sharing your ideas, which is really good. And the other aspect I was thinking about, that restaurant concept, I think that is excellent. Most of us might already be interested if we can form small groups. 500, donating 500 or being as a partner for 500 will not be a big of a stake. So, having said that, I think this is an excellent network, and I'll try to support as much as I can from my side. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. The one thing I would like to add here for this Nepal Connection Center is the goal is not to run a restaurant. The goal is to connect people, not only people who are now older people, but the focus should be finding ways to connect our future generation with Nepal. That should be the main goal of the Nepal Connection, and we have to make it actually sustain. So we have to sell some food.
Thank you, Dr. Pun.
And I'm not going to be staying in America to run this. You have to run.
I know, you can climb up the mountains in Nepal, right? Go even in the middle of night to get up and go fix that antenna up in the tree so he can climb. He still climbs. I have seen him, yes. So again, due to the time constraints, we probably have to close the session. I know in
the audience of your presentation, and we always admire your work. Even though there are hundreds of the non-governmental organizations involved in the development of the country in rural areas, but very few have actually developed that trust. And the biggest asset that you have is the trust. Whenever your name comes, we all say, oh wow, he is the one who really did something to the rural community of Nepal. And he deserves a great commendation, and we really commend him. And this idea Of course, these are great ideas, and you are not asking that much of the money also, and you are not asking for the fee donation. You are just asking for a loan. I think that's an excellent thing, and the trust is the biggest wealth that you have, and I wholeheartedly support your this noble cause, and like to have other people from the Nepalese community support you. In this noble cause. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. And also next, please briefly introduce who you are and then kind of comment, please. Yes, please.
This is Prem Guru. Actually, I have read about your bodies all the years ago. I actually have a question. What is the wind resources or whatever resources in Nepal, wind farm? Is there any wind turbine we can have in the micro wind farm or to develop the electricity through wind farms?
Richard, sorry.
Just call me Guy.
Yeah,
That's easy to remember.
Sorry, yeah, okay. And thank you very much, Dr. Pun, sharing such an exciting, ambitious plan about Nepal and connecting the Nepalese, not only here in the US, but around the world. That's a wonderful, ambitious plan. And let me tell you again, after working with Dr. Pun for the last 10, 12 years, and that's where we actually began. When Dr. Pun was working with the students in the rural remote area, I was the student at George Mason University working in IT field and telehealth and telemedicine. And kind of working, I started with government folks also, if there is anything, any projects that I can contribute back to Nepal, and initiated several inquiries, but I was unsuccessful. But the first time I kind of emailed Dr. Pun and he get back with me, and I was working as a student, also working at the School of Public Policy. That's where I was working with Dr. Steve Rowe. And we had a little center, technology innovation, incubation, helping universities around the world to set up the IT centers, and thought this such a project that Dr. Pun is working in Nepal is wonderful. And that's where, while he was working on a volunteer money, donated money, I managed during that time, working with the faculty and the dean with the university to get some kind of funding. That's where, e-learning, distance learning, going through the Himachal Education Foundation. Again, there is a government, initiative funding. So we had to go and do these things with certain channel. So we had to work with the foundation that is based in Nepal, in the US, to channel the money back to Nepal. And that's where, with that work in the rural remote area, now this is where he is. And that exciting plan, he learned the lessons. I have to tell you, he don't sleep. He constantly works. Even in the middle of night when we need something, he just gets back with us and sends us the report. And this is the person who can deliver results. We're talking about projects, and he is the one who can do it and can deliver results, and we can trust him. Thank you. So with that, again, and briefly, I know we're running out of time, but we would like to give some opportunity, and Mr. Mainali from the embassy, Nepalese embassy, just a brief comment, 2 to 3 minutes. Welcome, Mr. Mainali.
Thank you, Dr. Giri. It is very nice to have Dr. Pun with us, with all these intellectual Nepalese diaspora, and I'm quite impressed with this project, and he's been doing a very good job in Nepal. And the project he has been presented here with his credential. He's already he has awarded internationally. He's the winner of the Mega Sessi Prize, the Asia's Nobel Prize. So, and he's very well known in the social sector. Whatever he is doing in Nepal. So in that way, and he has some innovative ideas as well. Beside this philanthropic job, he has presented very nice presentation on the setting up the centers around the Greater Washington area. I have some kind of thought about this kind of center. Like we are talking about having a cultural center, the community center, or we can say the club also. Like I found in many countries, like in Australia, there used to be the diaspora used to have community center, like club or something. Like there is a, not only restaurant, you can have all the, you can sell the artifacts. You can also build the building itself with a replica of some of the Nepalese palaces or some of the what do you call these archaeological, architectural, Nepalese architectural touch, and that will help to promote tourism also. You know, when you see the nice wood carving or things like that, then the people will feel like, oh, Nepal is so much rich in art and culture. Then they will decide to go to Nepal. Not only the natural beauty, we have cultural beauty as well in Nepal. So that way, if we establish some centers like that, that can be profit-making center as well. So that way it will help to community and connecting people and making a good business as well. They can invest collectively and then they will get the return also, and at the same time they will promote Nepal. So I thank you, Dr. Pun, for your idea, and we fully agree with you, and then all the people present here will also agree with your idea. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manali. Now, we're again, due to the time constraints, so we're about to come to the closure. But however, like we said at the beginning, we'll have a brief interaction or any question, concern, or if you, how you can, contribute or help to these projects that Dr. Pun outlined here. Please feel free. Is there I guess no mics, it's a small group. So just raise your hand, and Dr. Pun, whether you can sit there or here.
Hospitals, this is ECG. We are also developing a system to track the hikers who go for hiking in the mountain. In case they get lost, it would be easier to find them. New trekking routes. So those are the things. Those are the updates of what I have been doing. Very brief updates. So now I would like to share about the dream. For the last 22 years, I have been working in so many small projects, so many things, small things in so many areas. So it is helpful to the villagers. It is helpful to the people there. But what I feel now is, that is not enough. It helps the villager, but it is not enough to make Nepal, to help Nepal. And Nepal is, all of you know, Nepal is one of the poorest country, one of the least developed country in the world. So it hurts, I don't know. For me, it hurts very much when somebody says Nepal is least developed country. So I want Nepal to be a developed country. How can we make Nepal a developed country? Is it possible? Is it a joke? Many people think it is a joke also. So it is possible to make Nepal a developed country. One of the main reasons why Nepal has not been a developed country is because in the past 67 years of this history of modern Nepal, no government so far has given priority or emphasis for the development of science, technology and innovation in Nepal. That comes in the least priority. The government, all of these governments, they are always looking for foreign grants, to run the projects, to do something. And because of this reason, because of this, no government has given emphasis for the development of science, technology and innovation. What is happening? Brain drain. Most of these young talents, young people, talented people, they are being drained. It's not their fault. They want to do something, and if you don't get chance to do something, opportunity to do something in Nepal, they move. So that's the reason, why Nepal is one of the least developed countries in Nepal. So we want to start an innovation center. It is already too late, but we have to take first step. So that's why I'm working with some of my friends to find ways to develop an innovation center in Nepal and provide opportunities for these young talents, mentor them, and use their creativity for the development of Nepal, and we can do that. How do we build an innovation center? We need money to do that. And the government of Nepal, they said, they can provide some money, but we don't need government money to run an innovation center. The reason why, because in our case in Nepal, if the government provides grants, there is so much interferences, bureaucratic interferences, political interferences, and you cannot work independently. So, what we are proposing is to build an autonomous and self-sustained innovation center. How can we do that? It is possible, and we have to generate money first. So in our case, we can, after discussing a long time, we came up with this idea to build a hydropower station, because Nepal is the second richest country in the world in terms of hydropower potentials. They say there are 50, 60, 80,000 megawatt of hydropower can produce in Nepal. But Nepal is producing less than 1,000 megawatt. It is not even meeting this demand. It's just only meeting about 50% of the demand of this electricity in Nepal. But because of this bureaucracy and the change in the government, instability in this political system, Nepal is not doing much in this area. So our proposal is, we are proposing to build a 10 megawatt hydropower station and make money for running the innovation center. So how much money a 10 megawatt hydropower station can produce? This is just the calculation. Just to tell in short, that's the power purchase rate, current power purchase rate. The government, we can sell the power to the government, and the gross income a year is $6 million from 10 megawatt of hydropower station. But that's gross income. The actual income is about 70% of the gross income, which is almost $4 million, $4.2 million from 10 megawatt of hydropower. $4 million is a lot of money. So if we use, our plan is to use 75% of this real income, repay the loan, to pay the annual interest, to pay, the operation and the maintenance costs, 75%. So we will have to spend about $3 million for that. So we will use 25% of this net income to support the innovation center, which is about $1 million. And we can do a lot of things in $1 million. Is this possible? This is possible if we build 10 megawatt hydropower. What do we need to build 10 megawatt hydropower station? So we need first we need to get a license from the government, which is not that difficult. We can get license from the government to do that. The second, we need money to build it. So this is a big project. This is a project actually the government should do, but the government is not doing for the last 67 years. And we should start from our capacity. So that's why we are still approaching governments for support. We are asking them not to provide us grant, but the first thing we are asking the government to provide and to find ways to get soft loan actually for this. Or if they want, they can provide some grants, one-time grant. Or we are giving this asking the government to put 30% share in this project. Or if they have maybe fourth idea, they can do that. So we have been working in this process for last 1.5 years, and so far we haven't been able to get anything from the government for this project. So we are also seeking for any private donors or investors. And that's why I am sharing this idea with you. Sharing this idea is not it does not cost any money. But if you like this idea, you can share this idea with your friends, with people who you think would be interested. So to do this, this is what we need. To build 10 megawatt hydropower, the total cost will be about $20 million. So what do we need? We don't need $20 million at the beginning. What we need at the beginning is 30% for the equity, which is $6 million. And if we get $6 million, the commercial banks will provide 70% of the cost as loan. So that's what we need, $6 million to start this project. So I think somehow if we get some money, the government will put some money, it is possible to start that. So we are looking for donors, investors, partners, government or non-government, that's what we are looking for. We have to do these things formally. We have registered a company, not for profit sharing company, called Rashtriya Avishkar Kendra in Nepal, which means National Innovation Center. So the reason we registered it as a not-for-profit sharing company is because if we build this project, this type of project as a profit sharing business, then and sell the shares for this, then the shareholder will take away the dividend. There is no money left for the innovation center. If it is possible, we want to do that. But this is not the only thing we want to do. I mean, we have so many options which we can negotiate for. So this is what we are doing, and that's a big dream. It's not very big dream. It's not impossible thing to do, but we are looking for partners. And it's not only money. You can bring ideas. So because we prefer ideas first, comes first, and then money. So that's about innovation center. And I have another idea which is not as ambitious than this innovation center idea. This is about starting a place called Nepal Connection. I have already one in Kathmandu, in Nepal, in the middle and in the center of Kathmandu, a place called Nepal Connection. This is a restaurant actually, but this is different restaurant. Then different from the normal restaurant you go. There are already so many restaurants everywhere in America, in Nepal. Why do we want to set up a restaurant? So the reason we want to start a restaurant is to connect people. Not only to have a place to eat, but to connect people. What kind of people? People who would be interested to know about, say, Nepal, or about rural life. So the same thing, I would like to, do in US, not only in the US, around the world. So the goal is to promote Nepal actually. Promote Nepal and abroad. The second is to link with people with Nepal. Especially when I say people, the people, of Nepali origin. So what I see, most of you were born from Nepal, were born in Nepal. So you know how a village looks like there, because you spend your time there. So you know your relatives, where they live. But second or third generation Nepalese, these small children, they will have no idea. When they will grow up, they will have no idea about Nepal. So you don't need it. Now you have connection already. You don't need a connection with Nepal right now. But your children, your third generation, second generation, children will need. We need to do something to connect them with Nepal. That's why, the goal of Nepal Connection is to link people. Not only, foreign people, but people from Nepal is origin. And if we make some money, we need to, the only reason we need to run a restaurant is to make it self-sustained, to sustain, We could have started an information center, about Nepal Information Center. But to run a Nepal Information Center, you need some money to rent a room, to run it. So let's build. The idea is to build a restaurant and, sell food to generate some money to make it self-sustained and, provide information about Nepal. Maybe books, pamphlets, audio, video, any kind of information about it. And we can organize talk programs about Nepal. That's what we do. We are doing in Tamil right now. We're providing, talk programs about Nepal. On any issues, maybe hydropower issues, maybe community development issues, maybe some other issues. On any issues, we can have a talk program. And if we make some income from that, we can sell that, income for community development projects. So, I want to start one first, somewhere in this area, maybe Maryland, Virginia, maybe DC area, as the first project. But that's not the end. That will be the start. I want to build something like this as a chain all over in big, cities in America, in Texas, in the West Coast, in New York. So this will help to promote Nepal, and this will help to connect people wherever they live. Not only in America. I want to do this in other parts of the world also. Because there are many Nepalese living in Europe, in Australia, in Asia, even in Japan, Singapore. So many Nepalese living everywhere. So I want to have something like this all over the world and connect people and promote Nepal. So this is my proposal. I wanted to share. But how do we do that? We need money to build a restaurant, a place, to share ideas. You know. So the rough idea is, I mean, just rough estimate when I talk with my friends, the people who are running the restaurant. I found that it costs about $200,000 to $300,000 to build a small place, a restaurant. So where do we get this money to do that? So let's come together, let's get together. So my proposal is, what I would like to propose is, let's find 400 people who will be interested to, provide loan of $500. This is not a donation. This is loan. We are asking for loan. Okay. If we find 400 people is willing to donate, 400 people is willing to donate $500, that would be just about enough money to start a restaurant, small place. Then we can keep it, grow. And if you want to provide more than $500, that's okay. You are welcome. Right? And we need people, very active people who love Nepal, to work as a board of directors. Because this is not my project. This is your project. You don't have to ask me, oh, I want something like this happen. That's what my dream is. So, a board of directors who love Nepal very much and need hard-working managers. Because without hard-working and honest managers, I don't think it would be sustained. It would be easier to learn. So that's what we need. So one thing I would like, one more thing that I didn't put here is, there are already many Nepalese people running the restaurants. Am I going to compete with them? No. My idea is not to compete with these people who are already running restaurants, Nepalese people. So, and we also need help from them because they have expertise, they have experiences. We would like to involve them also to develop such a place. So, this is, I have also, actually my professors, when I went to University of Nebraska, they helped to set up a foundation called Himachal Education Foundation. So that's mostly the foundation works in the field of education. They are not involved in other projects that I am doing. But you can, look at this, some of these our activities in that website as well. And then, if you are interested in this kind of projects, to build an innovation center, to build a Nepal Connection, or other community development projects, tourism projects, in any projects. So you can contact me, and I can also leave my my card, visiting cards, and you can also contact me through email. So I will be happy to work with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to explain a little bit time setup. The program will be over exactly 1:30. So you are hungry also, we are hungry. We are going to mainstream. So at 1:30 there is a Kushinelli coming, governor potential, they need vote. So we are hungry too. The snack is available. I would like to request especially, please, after that, Chain Bridge Road, the right before, right after the highway, we should go there, and it is my sincere request because we are connecting to American mainstream also. 1:30 we're going to start the program. Now I would like to acknowledge a couple of people and we're going to go to question and answer. To facilitate this program, we have started also from Japa, grassroots movement. We are modernizing all the government schools. So our goal is to, in long run, convert Eastern Zone into IT hub, following the ecosystem. So for this mission, a lot of American friends, they could not come here because it's Jewish holiday and Sunday and noon did not work out church time, but they are helpful, and few Nepalis who are die-hard. So I would like to acknowledge a few of them. They are working like a mentor to us. Mr. Anil Pathak, please stand up. Give a big hand. He has been a everybody knows Mr. Niranjan Mansingh Regmi. He is one of the leading folks to convert. Our goal is to commercialize the information technology and industrialize the agriculture. That's coming on, and we're going to have a separate meeting next month. Huge meeting with all the big American friends. And for this moment, we have Mr. Guy Hinkler, one of the leading social leader here, who likes to donate only, make more. I think he donate more also. So please welcome Mr. Guy Hinkler to make a comment on that, and after that we're going to go to public floor. Thank you.
I'd like to start out with just telling you a little bit who I am and why I'm here, and then the message I have. I'm one of those people who believes in quality of life, good quality of life for everyone. I had very humble beginnings. I came from a broken home. I was on my own at 15. I lived in a chicken coop. When I got a car, I had a radio and a heater, and oh boy, I felt like I had made it. And I started working at a gas station, working on cars, and cars went computerized, and I developed this passion for technology. And subsequently, I got an education. I went on, I started an IT company that was very successful. I just sold it a couple of years ago. I had it for 20 years. And one thing I tried to do when I had this company was give back. I wanted to give back because I felt very fortunate, and there's a lot of people that, again, have very humble beginnings, and they have the potential. They just need the tools to get them from here to here. So let's talk about why I'm here. I'm here because I want to give back. Now, I have a passion for technology, and I feel, as you heard earlier, education and things, just basic necessities like medicine, we can achieve a lot of those things through technology. So I spent a lot of my time. I have 10,000 hours of volunteerism, and it's helping people get a better quality of life. And I have tried, I have had some successes, I've had a lot of failures. Usually the failures are getting with people, maybe they have a personal agenda, or they're in it for the glory for themselves. I mean, we heard about government earlier. It might be some news to people. A lot of times people get into government for personal gain, to try to keep the little guy down so they can increase their wealth and their riches. It happens, but I've made some mistakes in the past, but I've been very careful as I've gotten older. I got some gray hair here. I've gotten older. I've learned a little bit here. I really vet my opportunities. So I spent a lot of time researching the work that Donnie has done. Dr. Pun here, he has accomplished a lot of things, but this guy's very sincere about what he does. He wants to help people. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm involved with this. And that's why I'm giving up my time. I mean, it's a pretty Sunday. I could be down at the fishing hole. I could be drinking a beer, watching a football game. No, I've got a short time on this earth, and there's a lot of work to do. And so what do I have? Well, I'm not the richest guy in the world, but as Madonna said, I have grown this huge network of people that I know are sincere about helping. When I started out, my mentor told me, don't waste your time hanging around bad people. Identify them quickly. Spend your time around good people that are sincere and do want to help. And that's what I've done, and that's why I'm involved with these guys, and that's why I want to take my credibility and my network and get these people involved with this, because the people need it. They need it. If they can just have the opportunity to grow themselves and get educated and be healthy, that's really what you need. You need education, you need good health, and you can get the job done. So, my message for you is this foundation, it can be a reality. The technology is there. I mean, there's all different types of wireless technology. I'm looking at those wooden boxes and those homemade dishes hanging off a tree. There's, there's satellites. There's, what's the 802.16? There's the WiMAX, and there's, all these different things out there. We can leverage these things, but it's going to take our time. It's going to take getting people involved, and a few dollars here and there. It doesn't seem like a lot for all the good we can do. So I ask you to listen very carefully, to vet this information. Don't just say, oh yeah, I'll do it, but look at it very carefully. Make sure it's the right thing for you, and if you feel that this is the thing that can help people grow, help people become successful, please get involved. Thank you for your time.
We are about to start the program. Our chief guest is already arrived. Please, I will take a few names. Please come and sit on the dais. Dr. Vishnu Borden, Mr. Guy Hindler,
You don't know your name?
our DCM of Charge Affairs, Mr. Narayan Mainali, and our National Treasurer, Dr. Mahabir Pun. Please have a seat. Thank you. Jivanji, please.
Good morning, everybody. I guess good afternoon now. So today I would like to begin the program especially. We have basically formal, or we can call it informal program, interacting with, especially with Dr. Mahabir Pun. Especially, you may not know Dr. Mahabir Pun. I'll give a little introduction later on. But the agenda for this afternoon, first of all, we are going to kind of give a brief introduction of Dr. Pun and the guest here in front. Then formally give the opportunity to Dr. Pun to kind of share some of his experience and some of his innovative projects that are going on in Nepal. For this evening, brief introduction, I know we have a deputy chief from the Royal Nepal Embassy, Narayan Paudel, and please welcome him. And then a little bit about Dr. Mahabir Pun. Dr. Mahabir Pun is a Nepali social entrepreneur. He is known for his extensive work in applying information and communication technology to develop remote areas of the Himalayas, also known as the Nepal Wireless Networking Project. He is winner of the 2007 Raymond Magsaysay Award, equivalent of Nobel Prize given in Asia for his community leadership projects. So after working as a teacher several years, he came to the US and got his master's degree in education from University of Nebraska. Later, he also got an honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters from University of Nebraska in 2007. He went back to Nepal, currently working in education, nature conservation, community development, wireless networking field. His first dreamed of connecting rural villages to the global community. So far, he constructed many labs, many wireless network projects around several villages in rural Nepal. He has already been actively working, in addition to the Nepal Wireless Project, many different projects in Nepal, kind of including educational, health, communication, e-commerce, weather monitoring, and many other different types of GIS systems. And for that reason, he has been awarded that Raymond Magsaysay Award. Again, he is a well-known figure not only within Nepal and also among many folks around the world in the area of social development, community development. So a little bit about Mahabir Pun. I served in his foundation for about 12, 13 years right now. the first time when I met him, actually on a personal note, I was actually working at George Mason University here, looking for some opportunity through the Department of Public Policy, and try to kind of have some kind of communication projects, some kind of community development projects through ICASIT. Unfortunately, Dr. Steve Ruth is not here, so he is the one. I worked with him while I was at George Mason University, and then got some help to work with Mahabir Pun, and got some funding through the university, through ICASIT Knowledge Center. Then Mahabir Dr. Pun and myself, including the Dr. Steve Ruth, worked in many years, and working with the telemedicine, telehealth, a digital device, and also bringing distance learning program in rural, remote areas. So with that, today's agenda basically, Mahabir Dai has an ambitious agenda, and he's also not only the Nepal Wireless Networking Projects and telehealth, but he has a specific agenda. Each time he comes over here, he comes with an ambitious plan. So that's a Community Innovation Center. That's what he's planning to set up over there, a Technology Innovation Center in Nepal, basically helping entrepreneurs and also investors, bringing together not only within the country but globally, and to set up the Technology Innovation Center and improve entrepreneurial opportunity and also employment opportunity in the country. So, please welcome Dr. Mahabir Pun. So after this, I'd like to invite Medini Adhikari, Professor Medini Adhikari. So he has been working in teaching environment. Currently he's teaching at American Military University. He's been teaching a business IT management program. And to introduce our guest in the dais here. So please welcome Medini Adhikari.
Thank you, Professor Giri. Sorry to speak in English because of our few American guests who like to speak in English. And Mr. Giri has been one of the active members of Wireless Network. He is a professor of Wood College, Frederick, and works for INS project. One of the finest gentlemen, and thank you very much. And we have in DICE, Mr. Guy Nickler. Can you stand, sir? He is my mentor, and I came to this office because of him. I happen to be professor of his daughter, and then he is one of the leading philanthropists in Northern Virginia, board member of American Small Business Association, the director of the Chamber of Commerce Prince William County, and he devoted his life to charity events. And we are going to open our foundation. So he is now our friend. And he takes me places, and so far I haven't let him down, right? Okay. Next, Mr. Vishnu Paudel, doctor. He is, I think, senior most Nepali fellow in America, has been here for 45 years, and he works mostly in American community, so most of the Nepalis maybe didn't have chance to meet him. Can you stand up, sir? Being a Nepali, I like to say he is my doctorate guide, plus we are a colleague in same university. So we get to fight each other sometime. We disagree most of the IT stuff. And then next, our DCM in charge affairs, Mr. Narayan Mandali. I got to meet him yesterday along with few other ambassadors. That was first meeting, and it was in connection to charity and everything in DC. It was nice to meet you, sir, and welcome to the dais. Mr. Green, please.
Thank you, Professor Medini. Moving forward for the agenda this evening, again, formally, we need to begin the session and kind of give you a welcome speech. I would like to invite Mr. Thakur Dakal and for a welcome speech. Mr. Thakur Dakal has been in the field of engineering for several years. He's currently working at Fairfax County Government Center, and he is the founding member of DC chapter of American Society of Nepalese Engineers. So he is uniting all the engineers from our own, neck of the world and trying to help.
Thank you, Professor Giri. And it is my pleasure to welcome our treasurer, Mr. Mahabir Pun, in this nice location, in a nice day. I see all kind of engineers and technologists, entrepreneurs, all kind of people here. So I guess today's session would be very successful, and his agenda, we will understand what to do next to help Nepal grow in the sector of communication and other improving the lifestyle in Nepal. So I would also like to welcome Guy Hinkler, a friend of Nepalese. I happen to know today. He is very wonderful. I guess we can get a lot of help in the sector of improving Nepali poor from his personality and his on behalf of Americans. And I would also like to welcome Dr. Vishnu Pordel and Mr. Narayan Mainali, and all of you, I guess journalists, cameraman, and all kind of, on behalf of Nepalese news media I have seen here. I would also like to welcome you, and at the end, all of you who are eager to know and help in this good mission of Dr. Mahabir Pun. Again, like to welcome you, and today's program would be a very successful program, and you will know a lot of things, what's next in Mahabir Pun's mission. So.
Thank you. Again, thank you everybody coming over here and kind of learning what's going on in Nepal and learning from especially Dr. Mahabir Pun, his ambitious initiative and those projects, community development projects, and how he's been able to connect internet technology, information technology to the rural and remote villages, and providing the basic needs of the communities in the area of health, education, distance learning education, and telemedicine in that particular area. With that, the session for this afternoon is going to be a presentation by Dr. Mahabir Pun, and then we'll have the opportunity to hear comments from our guests. Then we will open up the opportunity for you to interact with Dr. Pun and with our guest here this afternoon. With that, please welcome Dr. Mahabir Pun for his presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here and share some of these, slides here and some of this information actually that I have been doing in Nepal, and I would like to focus, on actually first I would like to update, the projects that I have been doing in Nepal for the last 23 years. Because I have met many of you in different programs in the past as well, so I think it would be better to share some updates, some of these projects, and then I would like to share some of the ideas that I'm working with our friends in Nepal, and I want you to be also involved in this project. So. First let me tell you, about my involvement in Nepal. Actually, I am, known as, a guy to introduce, internet in the rural areas. That's my, introduction in many places when I visit. But I do more than that. Working in the, wireless networking area is just part of the projects. Maybe I spend about 25%, 30% of my time in that, but I am involved in many other projects, especially in the field of community development. My background is education, and I also, work with these community schools in the rural areas. I also help people to, start some healthcare system, especially in the remote areas where there are no doctors, no hospitals, clinics, and I am involved in income generating programs because, as you know, in the rural areas, in the developing countries, there are no jobs available. So people need jobs, and they need to get some money for their living. So I am trying my best in my capacity to help people to start and income generating programs and generate some money, create some job opportunities for the people in the rural areas. I think it would be better if you come here. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Please, yeah.
Please, yeah. Let me share.
So that's what I do. Actually, my big part of my time I spend on that. And I also am involved in nature conservation and environment, protection programs and so many things we do for Nepal, for the rural areas. And I am also from the last 4 years I am involved in tourism programs, helping people to develop community ecotourism programs. So those are the things I do in Nepal. So my focus today I will just spend some time to give a brief overview of the projects that I am involved with in Nepal. Then I would like to share about why I need to build a place called Nepal Connection in the US. This is what I would like to share. This is not dream, but I want to make something like this happen because this is very much needed to promote Nepal in foreign countries, in abroad. Third, I would like to share about the need to build an innovation center in Nepal. Why we need to do that? So I would like to go that. And this is my home village. I will go very quick. I will just show maybe 2-3 seconds for one picture. This is my home village, and I would like to share some of the pictures of this community development project, income generating projects that I am involved with. I first, after I went back to Nepal, I helped to start a high school in my home village. That's how I started to work as a social worker, and we had a lot of meetings because working in the communities is not that easy. You have to find ways, you have to find what people need there. You cannot just go there and tell them you have to do this, do that. You have to talk with the communities, interact with the communities to find ideas and find ideas to implement them. So that's what I want to do. That is one of the first projects that I started in 1994. It's a camping ground for the tourists to make some money, for the community. So, and I also started, yak farm there. So it's still there. And a yak farm, we have a big herd of yaks there. And crossbreeding yak and cow crossbreeding program, cheese making. So we started that in 1996. Now we have started this in some other villages as well. Small fish farms, paper making. It's handmade paper making. projects to create some jobs for the rural women, jam making projects, health program and health training programs. This is informal health training programs for this village health workers who even don't have high school education. Because whenever we got volunteers from abroad, doctors, some nurses, whoever we got there, we asked them to train our people, because there are no doctors in the clinics. I started building computers in the wooden boxes, because computers were very expensive that time, and there was no way we could afford to buy new computers. So introduced computer education, things like that. So after we brought computer, and built in wooden boxes, we built hundreds of them, and give away to the schools. Though it was like before 2000. So we wanted to bring internet in the village, but bringing internet was not an easy task at that time. There were no communication system, no telephone services in any of the rural areas of Nepal, except the district headquarters. So, and also it was the time of insurgency in Nepal. Big time of insurgency in Nepal, and there was no way we could bring and use this wireless technology, because it was banned that time. So it was that time I thought about starting this bringing wireless technology, internet in the rural areas. So it was not that easy. It was very risky as well, for our own lives, But we started that project, but we had to, find ways to do that. There was no equipment available in the market, and it was not possible to get those equipments, easily from abroad. So whatever we got that time, we built antennas by ourselves, and we got some small, very simple wireless routers, and I used those in the, tested. Spent 1.5 years to, find ways to build a long-range wireless network at that time. So the reason it became, possible to build a wireless network was because I got help from students, young students from America and from Europe, who helped to bring those equipments, and who helped me to who work with me as volunteers in the rural areas, and that's how it became possible. And these are the pictures from that time. It is very primitive looking. It's a very primitive, actually, not looking only, primitive project, and it looks very primitive because we did not have any money when we started to build a wireless network. We didn't even have any single dollar to do that. So we asked our friend whatever they could send, whatever we could get, and then we started building wireless network. It's a long-range wireless network, like 20, 30 miles, 40 miles long-range wireless network using very simple devices. So that's how the project started. And many people used to laugh at when they look at this, but it worked. It worked, and it is still working. So these are just slides. So you can imagine how funny looking this setup is there. But now as that time our goal was to connect maybe 5-10 villages. We had no idea, because we were learning everything, learning by doing. So, but slowly after we built the network in few villages, then people from other villages, we started they asking for help to connect their villages. Step by step, we started expanding the network to more neighboring villages, neighboring districts, and then more areas in Nepal, and slowly, especially people, those people from villages, they raised money to build the network. So slowly, what we did is we built wireless network in different parts of Nepal. So these are some of the pictures of how the setup of the network is there. So even in very remote area, in a very remote Himalayan valleys also, we have brought internet. Actually, we don't build any network in the cities, in the urban areas. It's only in the very remote areas where there is no means of communication, no service providers. That's where we go. That's we do, because these people living there need help. So far we have reached in 16 districts of Nepal and connecting now little less than 200 villages. And I would like to share the use, how we are using the network for the internet. Because many people even don't think that how the villagers, the farmers who are doing subsistence farming, why they need internet, why they need computers. They cannot imagine that. So our goal, we have set up our goals in our main goal now. At that time, around 2000, at the beginning days of the network, we wanted to use it for communication only. But our focus has changed now. We want to use this technology, or we are using this technology for e-education and e-training. What e-training means is provide training through online trainings. People don't have to come to the cities, or don't have to go to different places to run training programs. And telemedicine, because that is something is very helpful for the villages, and we are using it for some other purposes also, but our focus is in these two areas. And developing contents. This is just set up of a telemedicine center. I mean, telemedicine, we talk about telemedicine, people think about huge setup. You don't need huge setup, expensive setup. You just need computers and a small camera, webcam connected to the internet. That's what telemedicine setup is in the rural areas. And communication, communication. We have built communication centers in the village. We need a communication center because not everybody in the village can afford to have a computer and internet in their house like you have here. So there is center where we put some computers. I have 10 computers where people from the villages in that area can come and use computers. So that's what communication center is. And we also have built a small, simple home page for the villagers, because most of these villagers have little education. We also have developed some e-learning materials for the students, especially interactive e-learning materials for the students, and provide it for the students. We have e-library material especially useful for the villagers. In the materials should be in local language, in Nepali language, because most of the people in the rural areas, they don't understand English. So developing content is very important. Developing content in the local language, and the language the villagers can understand. And we also need to provide training programs for the villagers. And I use college students, university students, most of the time to provide the training for the villagers, because the students whenever they have breaks on holidays, vacation, I even get people from volunteers from abroad also, college students, and they like to do that, and that also fulfills our need. So like I said, I am involved in tourism program, developing community tourism programs to support these activities in the communities. Those are the trekking routes that we have built. These are the the lodges where the trekkers, the tourists can stay. We are also working with some researchers working on climate change projects, and we help them to connect their system to the internet. And we are also doing some research in the development, R&D things, for that is useful for the rural people. For example, this is ECG machine we almost have developed, and this is very cheap ECG machine.